guys, I am Pixel Dan, and we're going to be taking a look at the final of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2020 Loot Crates, which coincidentally just shipped. So a lot of us just got them here in February. I just got mine, and I'm pretty excited to dive into this one. You can see from the front, we got these silly little Easter eggs that look like Bebop and Rocksteady. So when these were announced, one of the things that was announced was that there was a bonus figure if you bought the full 4 Loot Crate set. So it was the only way to get the bonus figure, which I believe was the Rocksteady wearing the bunny costume. And then we found out that the Loot Crate comes with Bebop in the bunny costume. So I believe both figures are in here because I bought the full 4 Loot Crate set. So I think it's possible that some of you who just bought the Loot Crate by itself are only getting Bebop, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But let's go ahead and open this up here. So this box is huge, so I'm going to try to just turn it off to the side here, and that way I can kind of start pulling out some of the things that are in here. I'm actually going to turn the camera this way a little bit. Okay, so one of the first things I'm pulling out is this sweet Channel 6 trucker hat. Wow, it's got something all over it. What is this? Well, it's a little dirty, so that's unfortunate. It looks like somebody stepped on it before they put it in here. Ha, weird. I can clean that off. Not a big deal. I don't really wear trucker hats much, but, it's still some fun little swag there. This is awesome. I do really like this, and I did kind of pull this out to look at it already. So we've gotten a t-shirt with every one of these. This one's great because it's Mondo Gecko's t-shirt. It's the same t-shirt like Mondo Gecko was wearing, like on the old toy. It's like bright yellow with the skull and the skateboard crossbones. That's super fun. Super fun. Hey, all right, so I got a Channel 6 ceramic mug to go with my trucker hats. Honestly, I can always use another coffee cup, and that is actually pretty sweet. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. So it's always fun to see the extra things that comes with these, honestly. And I know most of us are buying these for the exclusive figures, which is obviously the best perk here. Whoa, look at that artwork. That is sweet. Is this just like a notebook? I think it's just a notebook. But it's got some incredibly cool... Yeah, it's just like a notebook with blank pages. Love that shredder artwork, though. That's rad. That's real cool. And then I think that just there's a couple more things down in there. But here, let's go ahead and pull out... the figures. I want to get this big box out of the way. There we go. Okay, that box was just taking up way too much space. Okay, so here's our little sheet that tells us everything that's in here. So, Freddie Williams III is the illustration artist for that shredder. That's really cool. So we got our Channel 6 cap, our mug, our Mondo Gecko t-shirt, the exclusive Rocksteady. Yeah, so Bebop was the 3 crate bonus figure. There we go. I had them backwards. So the crate came with Rocksteady. The 3 crate bonus was Bebop. We've also got a sweet set of enamel pins. I love it. We got the Scrag. It's one of the other goons along with Bebop and Rocksteady that got mutated later on. And then Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang. Heck yeah. I want some figures of these guys. That would be amazing. This is actually really cool. This is a wanted poster sticker sheet, and do you know what this is for? This is totally going to be for that diorama set that NECA is selling for the animated figures. That's totally what this is for. That's pretty sweet, so we can hang up some wanted posters if we want to do that. So then we've got our wacky Bebop and Rocksteady in their bunny suits, which is just a gag from the animated series, but hey, that's exactly the kind of thing I think makes a good exclusive figure. So let's open them up. Let's check them out. Well, hey, it's the Easter Mutants. So we got our bunny Bebop and Rocksteady outside of the packaging. So you can see the figures come up to about the 7-inch height at their heads, but then they got those little ears on top of their costumes that make them go a full 8 inches tall. So these are big, beefy action figures in their cute, bright white bunny costumes, and it's kind of awesome. So it's worth noting that the bodies are exactly the same between the two figures. You can see the same shape. They even have the same kind of pot belly, which is a bit interesting because, Bebop, obviously, if you compare Bebop to the standard release, he doesn't really have that pot belly. He's actually, a bit thinner. there, unlike Rocksteady. But I totally understand why NECA's reusing the parts between the two figures there to kind of get the mileage out of them. And they do basically look the same as each other when they're in the cartoon. So both of these come from the episode The Turtles and the Hare, where, Bebop and Rocksteady are in these silly bunny suits and these little Easter baskets, which is one of their accessories. It's really just goofy stuff. It's episode specific, but I love that we're getting that kind of stuff in this line. So the paint deco on the figures matches up with basically what we've seen throughout the line. You can see the back of the figures is more gray than it is white, kind of has that cell-shaded look. Look, they both have like pink little puffball tails on the back, which is pretty funny. So the white... So the fronts are like a very bright white. They got the dark black outlining that traces all the details. You can see the fun like stitching going down the middle on the bellies, which is pretty fun there. So the only downside with this bright white paint on these figures is that they're going to be easily scuffed. I had a little bit of scuffing on Rocksteady, and he was just like this in the box. So I don't know if that's coming across in the video, but you can see there's just some black scuff lines going across his foot. So it's one of those things that I would definitely keep an eye out for. Like, you don't want them you definitely don't want to store these figures like with other figures where the paint can rub off on them. That would be really, really bad. So just something to kind of be cautious of with these bright white figures like that. Otherwise, I'd say the paint deco looks pretty good. It's definitely on par with everything we've gotten before. And let's go ahead and talk about the articulation on these guys. Now, one of the things I want to note here is that the joints are very, very stuck when I pull these guys out of the box. Specifically, the painted over elbows and the thighs were like totally fused on both Bebop and Rocksteady. So I had to use the hair dryer trick, low setting just for a few seconds to kind of soften it up, and then you should be able to gradually bend the elbows and everything. So once I did that, it definitely helped, but be careful. I don't want you guys to snap these figures at the joints. I've already seen some breakage with these on social media, so be careful of that. So the heads basically can kind of look side to side. They are definitely hindered by these little bunny hoods that they've got going on here a little bit, but they do have the hinge-like joints there at the shoulders. You can still move forwards and backwards. You got the swivels at the elbow. You've got those double joints at the elbow there. Sorry, swivels at the bicep, double joints at the elbow, swivel and hinge at the wrists there. Doesn't appear there's really anything in the torso. The legs have those hinge joints, but again, those thighs are so crazy tight, so be careful with those. You should be able to swivel those as well, but again, super, super tight and stuck on my figures. You have the double jointed knees, a little bit of paint rub going on there, a little bit of flaking happening. Then the ankles can move forwards and backwards as well as side to side. So the joints are very tight, so that can be a good thing once they're not so stuck and fused anymore. The only instance I have of loose joints is my Bebop has got some weak ankles, and unfortunately sometimes when I'm standing him, you'll see him kind of dipping forward a little bit. You can see kind of how easy he rocks there. So I kind of have to find the right way to stand him. The tight knees definitely helps a little bit. So, just wanted to point that out there. So I mentioned that the bodies are shared between the two figures. The heads look to be the exact same heads from the standard releases. At least that's what I believe is going on there. These bunny hoods do appear to be separate pieces, but they are over the figure's heads. They're very tight, so it's not something that you can remove. But when I'm looking at the heads, like the faces, side by side with these, they appear to be the same faces. They even still have the opening mouths. The bunny hood slightly gets in the way of that, especially on Bebop over here, but you can see that the mouths do still open and close. And I can feel Bebop's mohawk up here underneath the bunny hood. So yeah, I think they just recycle the exact same heads, put these new bunny hoods over them, and put them on these bodies. So the heads look great. They match up with the other figures. And let's go ahead and just do that. I keep talking about them. So let's do our comparison time so we can look at these guys standing alongside the standard release Bebop and Rocksteady. You can really see the difference between the bodies there, and one of the things I want to point out is that they actually stand a little bit taller than the standard Bebop and Rocksteady releases. All right, so we got to talk about all of those accessories. So I briefly showed that each of them come with their own little Easter baskets, which is just fun, right? Got the little colorful painted eggs on the inside there. But the other thing that they both come with is the fun little remotes that, again, are from this episode, because what they were doing is they were running around and zapping people with these remotes, which turned the people into timid, bunny-like scared creatures. That's basically the whole point of this. They were using these to make people scared, making them all terrified so that Krang can come marching in and take over. So that was the whole point there. So to go along with that, you'll see that they got closed fists, but they do also come with a slew of interchangeable hands. And as it turns out, these are the exact same hands that come with the standard Bebop and Rocksteady releases. So they got open hands, which I do really love on the open hands, how they got like the little painted palms in there. I think that's really cool. We've even got the hands with like the trigger fingers, even though they don't have guns with these releases. And we got the gripping hands there. So because these are the same hands from the standard releases, these hands aren't really made with these new accessories in mind. But I will say, like, the one gripping hand can hold on to the Easter baskets. Okay, you can see you can get it in the hands there, and it does also hold on to the remotes actually pretty good. But the only problem is that we can't really get them holding on to both, because their other hands are just not really made for that. So you have to get creative with that. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at Bunny Bebop and Bunny Rocksteady, part of the Loot Crate exclusive releases. These are fun figures. There's definitely some downfalls with these, but they're that type of thing where it's like, I get it. These are exclusives. And like I said before, I feel like this is the perfect type of exclusive figure, because maybe this sort of thing isn't for everybody. They're kind of silly. They're episode specific. So if you decided not to get these, maybe you're not missing out on a whole bunch. Plus, it's a lot of reuse parts there, which kind of causes some issues in some places, specifically with holding on to the accessories. But at the end of the day, they're still fun, and they're goofy-looking figures. And if you're a completionist, probably something that you're going to want to add to your collection. So like I said, this was part of that whole Loot Crate offering. These are already gone and sold out at this point, but they did just recently announce that they're going to do a new batch of NECA TMNT Loot Crates for 2021, and they're supposed to be revealing them at the end of February, so might be something you want to keep your eye out for. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and until next time.